Nanu ya yetu abasisem 7 December. Nyame adom ye beautiful handing over ceremony on 7 January 2025. Anka abanya ode enidaso oba ne de ne resetting agenda ne de migidi so hwe numbers a Ghana for the mana e chese Ghana for no ede omurre ahyenimu se aban no ebeye adwuma sun bia anke bimba bi da because so check it under the Fourth Republic any figures recorded in the 2024 elections are edutwemu yiwie no anche bia be posome be na wotwe miensa na wotwe na echi ene de te yese Rumble Star. In fact me hu sin no na for once me se me te movie echi a me hwe a movie cinema. For a second I was wondering say where Jack Chan any Jack Commando movie na na esusu na ehwe ni bia na say sa nyoma we esi e wo Ghana Sakaman dansoman heya in Accra say yakopeke containers bia dollars sika puduo bebre e wo container ma na nsenkyerefo gire akire a yakotwitwa no a na da media ne su bebre e be yenkomo kase but anche ena sa asem no say free he ba he se ne kase se ne ketwa anche kura na asem no eyira nsesem besine se sa containers ne se fa he se nkofo asika no mko fine so mdi scan fa he se sika ne yedey yehu asem ena asem ne kotidai yetewo ayekomo se ego bi fie se fie no se obi dia yes yetewa na be asem a make be about be 1-2 weeks ni and yes ya buy no a seize 350 million worth of cocaine. 350 million worth of cocaine. Na Ghana kura ko IMF aye ko pebosien. Sika sen na ne ye prehwe. IMF ye ko ya ne ensa dai tedum a ye preskin na 600 million US dollars. Nipa ba ko fo me de 350 million worth of cocaine. Eba Ghana ha yenim ba bia nipa ni fie so mu intercept ye e was somewhere in the western region. Eno nso asem no ye mana asem no be na wotwe baako na wotwe mienu asem na kwa akoda se wufu a yesu na yi asene akosie no asamado.
Hold on, I'm tell light out na Ghana you know. Because signal na pick na babia tete one ATM na adding say do na the mobile phone ATM general light out Ghana babia I say it's a strategy to move it's a strategy move to stop people from listening the show to the show. Okay, that's papa say light out the whole Ghana so can't listen to Boiling Point. Let's say that's papa quick one. Oh, for to ask me.
Well, Boiling Point a big program too pa.
Udu kani anokra
and then
you can catch them to a Tiger Head.
Yeah.
Tiger Head
the kesi say na anu ya to abe ya nsisa be ya no obi apene generator the na ne de ase kra kofa wa ye nti ye go back to the resetting. So those times you
could say they besi
yes betimi asi etimi ya they making nti e free one na cocaine 350 million worth of cocaine ba ya anti wasem bi ma ne besi ne cocaine bobre eni digina bi enim na wachi etwa mu ya another containers maako dumienu etimi free Ghana Ports and Harbour Ghana Port Seaport e otema ayira ama besine aye bibi basa
a container na nya Manchester daka o
container na nya Manchester daka
40 feet container
meanwhile no shipping lines ne only containers no products na wo container nim no ene ye wa o ye customer no there no single individual any only containers container bia on the tracker containers ni na tutu irae emu orem say air cargo it's me be see the tarmac on Kotoka International Airport suspiciously adia me realize here even in philosophy kwachi difference is that 3 cargos ni na buy ni nyina no if it to free Rwanda and I say pass it through Rwanda and I say stop Rwanda the first cargo philosophy kwache say that first cargo no e was saying komuye inspection be on the lubricants any certain items and there was air cargo nim but Rwanda airport any that technique a bit me edia satisfy that particular portion of product. Strangely Ghana Airways kwegu when they share the number of planes they will Rwanda Air. So do Rwanda airport within a space of bare 2-3 minutes. Ebia enya will say an African country airport. Rwanda airport a very distinct, like it was certain peculiarity even more than Ghana. Rwanda nkwa menha ha meninka omo aeroplanes it took all over the world owned by the Rwandan government. Eco US, Eco UK, all over the world, Rwanda. That country now a war-torn country. And the waiting you go to this pedestrian no. When this hard technique, I detect is a lubricant every Rwanda, Ako Europe no, it meets a certain level of specification. Unibi. Fantastic. Enti first cargo ni bedru Ghana technique ne fa Rwanda ne bae. The second cargo, which happened to be an ambulance air cargo, confirmed by fellows of Fusuko Achinsu bedru Ghana, no bedru Ghana na say anye adwuma biem. Technicians amo maye sa ambulance cargo na buy no you go phone from Rwanda and number repair. Is it not strange?
Serious?
No, is it not strange say some human way can a bit me a cargo may just share coincidence? Is it not too strange? Meanwhile, the minority in parliament led by Reverend Intim Fojo, we see society near woman. Among one of the respectable positions I respected in growing up in Ghana, Reverend ministers.
Yes.
And aside the fact say politics, no. Say otise osofo kasa, you are called that with a certain minor of dignity and respect. Intimate say you are Intim Fojo, who is a reverend minister. Nyamini pa ujina Sunday pulpit tenim kwasia da bia ekanyamesem ekira manfo twa kra kosoro eka sa asem no medwene hu mienu oye press conference on Monday on issues about national security. The whole of Monday the country was silent.
Tuesday doom. And yet say His Excellency the President actually just to deter people, you know. Wednesday yantishe and then you wada. And issues like this, and yet issues are a government spokesperson the Nkwasisem. It borders on the security of the country. We are matters of national security. And the issues already are quite nana obaka Nkwasisem.
You know, so he said, assembly back, no say assembly cry no cry. Now, no who say the party in the case, there was substantive information to buttress commentary now I'm making no. Then who say also no say an end game story to banter that story that no. And what's your Fuzukachi response now? Contradictory, you know. Or putting you in a position of shame. But me crediting that.
Okay.
Saying a country we are on a very serious tangential and issues about the national security no. And security couples and addressing the media. Because that singular issue no and a very detrimental effect, and it even shows the poor nature of one of our major entry and exit point in this country, which happens to be the Kotka International Airport. So whether by acts of conspiracy, whether by of say omwa picky omunwe maybe, which happens to be the case anyway, because all the allegations are abino in opposition in call for Ashishe, led by Reverend Tim Fojo, a man with so much honor and dignity Ashishe no. All the points are put up no. Any the defense are I say yeah ball 5-5. Now also the 9 player ba. You pay defender the striker na ba.
Shaping the nation.
We are a calculated attempt by the government to shift positions. These are serious issues about national security. And what's here? Now, the sequential nature of the event, any senior and yoma epic yapono, you should have some mind. Yen to me and tone the dignity of these noble nations and sell it out to the dogs. Yen to me render baby ya picture or minor free from 1992. Both governments collectively together. Ya picture or minor barbedu this pedestrian. Now ye make these shady moves and these shady actions and dainty your credibility on the international and global market. And you good for us. And as a matter of agency, already there was no agency attached to this case. You see, for His Excellency the President to sit on social media and respond to such a sensitive issue, it itself indicates the fact say abina and assembly serious. And assembly as a government spokesperson, look as a no national security personnel has spoken. And Kaubebi a minister for defense and minister for interior joint press conference to address this issue.
Because some are involving national security.
National security.
Now Facebook.
And this is the biggest entry point of Ghana, entry and exit point, Kotka International Airport. And now in try one crown say there was perceived information say I invite Reverend Tim Fojua or fairly to attend, which happens to be a pure probable falsehood. And then when Tim Fojua Kasemiti more for
me say and now pay no must start social media handle Facebook na do must start and president my instructions no or dodgy or jane one am say bibi ba
enti baby ejina no enjina ye mesre omo Ghanaians repose so much confidence in the government. The numbers are buying in the lead up to the 2024 elections are 1.5 million vote gap, unprecedented under the Fourth Republic. Abina should ensure say obey the needful. That is all that Ghanaians are asking for. Dear sister, abine was a way. Nema timemufuo ejina ye. Nema timemufuo rebuild again the confidence of abino. Na omudi honhompa ene sunsumpa tanya bayechi no. As mine wo kase besine no. Abino enyanche saa opepa no. Abino enyanche saa opepa na ebekire say we are in the position say dia amino excellency Ekufuado di o mind bedru yen in terms of the security of this nation no opepa na omni beto aso no ebi ni ho etimi say aban no
okay
say asemhia ehia ne say as soon as possible we hear commentary from Felix Ofosu-Kwakye. Ye Felix Ofosu-Kwakye eni hear commentary from. In fact no onye neither the minister for interior and I say the spokesperson for the national security and I say the spokesperson for Ministry for Defense. We are matters of national security and the national security apparatus should address this issue.
On your chairman so airport companies.
Exactly.
Dan council na quick dan council MPK sir Reverend Tim Fojua na fe aircraft consensus na fe wi yaba
nse ba me da say ma me fa kwanya we so nchia oman FM TFO nyina. Isi say oba radio so na be kasa na obi tie wa akwanya kase because lecturers are listening to you and nim training at 380 it doesn't mean so now you but they have made time to listen to you. This is your dumb as I say, omutie na yensa my reckon, omanyansa, ebem, your dumb as I was so. Is about
senior.
This is a very, very disgraceful attitude. Ghana yabakwa semina ebinsi da say yetumia cocaine ne bobre anase ne dodo ebisa cocaine na yehu e Ghana in 2025 da.
Okay.
Na kamia ye say ebibia ebenya cocaine na ne bo ewo soro anase kwa nimpa no na yenuanom ebre so. In 2015, exactly 15th of April 2015, Ghana, you 6 tons of cocaine in Ghana. Now, you person ye fi Ghana, you do kurufu froso. And in 2025, you have 3,319 kilograms of cocaine. So person who carry a cement bag maku 67 of cocaine. Yes, in the street value is around $350 million. Multiplier, you are getting more than 6 billion Ghana cedis. You see, we a disgraceful attitude because cocaine enya de pa. And you see, sa we na pressa na philosophy ofosu kwa chebe no. Se menen pa dia anka metu meboase. Penyifosi openi dua mate say ankoto ne boase nanka dust ni setela nanka bi omu wo chopa bia omo be pagana for say dia ekọ so no ankoye enti omu pese omu fasa akwanya no no mo de pa encho because you see there is a track record of this island ayeka Nkwasisem. On 10 February 2020, a news report by insightcrime.org say Canary Island convenient haven for drug trafficking, that is money laundering. Money laundering procedure na process way or island way. Another report by EU report says 700 kilograms of cocaine to the Canary Island. There are a lot. Another one was Spain. Spanish police dismantle mafia-linked drug running network in the Canary Island. Let's just say, sa island where I can want some there. So, na ofele so fozu kwa cha beye na ne pa ajo tese me ya na no me na nyame adene kra esie baby pa o kan sembi o se wubu koto kwase a nyankopon ehwe den o hwe oto sabe on the 7th of October 2024, Canary Island drug bust 4 tons of cocaine seized. Again, another Sunday, 8th December 2024, over 3 tons of cocaine seized from fishing boat off Canary Island. So, in some way, there are a lot of these cases related to the Canary Island. It is anka yinna yanti asese baby ade we die ankoli and in yeah no yanti cocaine yenya edo echo baby fufuro. This is the highest ever in the history of Ghana. And in 2015 ABCA, and in 2025 ABSC, 10 years. But it only happens under the tenure of the NDC. Highest no in 2015 there no. So it this is an international reputational hazard, because every country and I say every sane investor share what is going on in your country and sana or your investment with your country or your investment. And this is a country Ghana ye democratic and fast forward you get this damning revelation coming from Ghana. Is about that land Wokotoka. Elande Wokotoka no. It didn't stay forever in Kotoka. It made rounds for 5 days.
And again,
this is a recipe for mediocrity. Plain tie joa. You don't need 5 days to face it. It is a philosopher who say wagaya siye nyina bia ye pese e ka chen ne say plain tie joa. You don't need 5 days to face it. And especially a planner, if every international country any Ghana for the employer see Ghana say and new planner abedu Ghana SSA go back ne tie abejo na abe spend 5 days just because of maintenance. This is Crowley John asema ye ka kire nkola afiansa na omoba. So it is the minister non corner assembly. This explanation no, it doesn't hold any water. And going forward no, senior minority nakano or say from next week no, a dinya or bebo with proper and details particulars or they ban. They should get another presser ready, because we will not you be making sure say for this 4 years NDC for Etia Benguan so no, we will expose every single move of DSR. Ebe Ghana numerous 1, 2. Ebe try say ebe wia the taxpayers contribution to the national purse. It is this information no, we are yashada yeni so, and we will never let it slide.
Okay, me das papa quick one ma mo de message about Facebook e beto ye boas na YouTube na ya kenkan nyina so dodo bi ebetime bia no ye be kenkan kama it seems say dum so no akwaachire, because messages na e ba na kire say most of the places no one ma dum so no kania no see nkan no dum so bi o de agina ye enti okoka so akaso afo so de agina o emiami ahodo bebi a John Dramani Mahama agina wo no mo enti wo no mo edasu mo Louis mamem na so quick one na ye 10% tariff abeda ye product I dey call United States.
Chama Donald Trump say opre abunyani biem no na o kansem na
they kansem say
yes no kansem pa na ye hwesen kansem na o kano anka emba bedru ni sei na o hwe enediama Europe any America Europe any America no was because they fed on the vulnerability of the black man. And Bisina Amnewuka say they are still feeding on the vulnerability of the black man. Nansimbi Anche Biana CIA agent Suman is on cause destruction of Libya. Obaya no Kanunumunsem, the destruction that they have succeeded in causing permanently in Libya. Bisine, the Gaddafi looking tino. Sometimes you become a victim of some of these policies. Now, a lesson to us, because share yahoɔden sɛ ɔman, even the whole African continent put together. The African crony nyinaa kabom na the ɔman United States of America pe egyina hɔ a, the total GDP of America, even a half of it can consume the whole of African total GDP collectively in a given space of one fiscal year. But share the population size in terms of land space, the people Africa is bigger than the United States of America, and the total number of people in Africa collectively is bigger than the people living in the United States of America. It so happens to say Africa, we are one of the major consumers of products are a free United States of America any Europe. I could say on grounds of evidence and facts available, say process are a free United States of America era Africa no, about 60% of the total consumables are using in the African continent, a free the United States of America. But abanisa because yet memufo no yama ye ho kwan amana banisa na enena me hwe the tariff regime no and how countries will be affected. It was disheartening. 10% in this more. There are some African countries that are 30%. It be tier 40%, it be tier 25%, it be tier 14%. Now, again, at this point, I was a leverage on the concept His Excellency Nana Danko Akufo-Addo Edebaye. It me lobby far the head office Ebijina Ghana, the African Continental Free Trade Arrangement.
Okay.
That is the only respite. You see, when Africans the dear be mining ye beka ye ho boom na ya kase ye experiment for bare 6 months, half a year. Yen cranioma from Europe, from Asia, from America, but ye cranioma among ourselves. Me say at that point bit me take a decision. It's at that point in stage in our life and you better realizes the strength of the black man. But you say me see it's even difficult. Say sometimes we be moving a product from Ghana to even Benin. It becomes a bit me to move a product from Ghana to UK sometimes than so be moving a product from Ghana to Benin within the African countries. Very difficult. A conscious effort by Nkofona and this is just a tip of the iceberg. Me say the radicalism Donald Trump introduce you into the politics of the world, very soon we will see a certain trend of world leaders, so-called, are implement this same kind of radicalism on trade policies, on financial policies, on immigration issues,
which happens to Africans
Africans all the time a disadvantage, because over the period we have allowed ourselves to refuse a babum because of our inward looking nature and our resistance to move and step out for our progress. It's a dangerous part for us. What we can learn as a mind is that and then I know some products a movie called US. I know. And Osha, one of major consumables, we do minor exports. Osha and Yoma a free Ghana echo out of the shores now. Or the compare Yoma a bar all the time, our balance of payment, what you say most often is in deficit because you crown your mom more
as I said the
other corner. Even Ketwana the corner now there's an impediment on the way. Ketwana you me at the corner. By virtue of this 10%, it can gradually plug us out of the market because people consume products from Ghana ABR on two main reasons. One, ABR, the organic nature of it, and two, the affordability. But the same technology, and now you see, you use the traditional way of doing things. The same technology, ABR, the Chinese about the same technology. Let's say how is the cocoa. The same technology goes to China, apply an advanced technology into on market or much goods to push into the market. If you and the economies of scale better say the more we produce, the lesser the cost of production. It's a sad day, and then of all days in the life of the Ghanaian, and now one of the days I'm ahopa, and I've pondered over why we will get ourselves into this stage. But I think it's a wake-up call, a wake-up call for all Africans. We see Tama Donald Trump, Ejina White House, Ejina the Temak is all fan a car. Without any dignity and respect or to Yampia Emma the South African president, at that point, now say African leaders every emergency meeting. No AU meeting at that point. Now voice out and think about some of these measures that will come. Because we a assassin of a new man and even after the exit of Donald Trump, me see world leaders follow this same trajectory. The lesson here for us, me say, you now know you're pricing Ghanaians out of the market. Products a free Ghana co, it be a raw product, it be a semi-finished product, it be a finished product. Kakana it me the free chrome hakono. Now you do market in this one. The first is that let's even check the performance of those products on the market, on the US market. Let's say
10% to net
10% ne buy no.
Net say
not products on the US market because I know a company just about 3 years ago. Now the major market to operate in US. The company in Ghana was on the verge of collapsing because another European nation has also found on its way onto the same space, bringing in the same product, sending a free Africa banner, but in a different European countries coming to US, but our pricing when you're very competitive on that market space into a free. Being it raw product, being it semi-finished product, being it finished product, no saka kana your performance on the American market to say. Yes, only 10%. Say we are SC. You see, any serious continent and can make us African leaders here immediately because this policy, the tariff amendment, any of the countries affected now, it requires an emergency meeting of the African Union. Say. What is the way forward? You see, and no maybe saying amount for the kind Kromano because out of all the negatives, he had an ambition far outlive his time. You cannot take that away from him. Over 60 years plus as a continent, we are still back to that same conversation, which is a sad event. African leaders should rise. Now, you're standing up to the occasion, and the only solution for this is that there should be a conscious effort. You declare 2 months policy, no importation from Europe, US. Let's export and buy from ourselves. Near the impact.
Sometimes BBC is here. It's painful. So Becca said, "Now who caused them?" But the rightful question to ask is, "Now who caused them?" Many of the na me follow ni here. The 10% tariff Donald Trump are placing to America, na a game changer, because it's a way to build America. So you can't force him because of person building the mind. Yes, or you. So Ubisa won't say, how can I, as a Ghanaian, try to mitigate this challenging outcome? But there was a way out of the woods, because Obakaya, Ebrea, Ekufuado Kofa, San Nizan companies with VW, any all those automobile companies nearby Ghana, non producing cars or Ghana, they provide employment the teeming youth of Ghana. My economy ni be grow, reduce import and kasa 10% way at least crackers the anka because of initiative ninti Ekufuado the bill called parliament say cars are survey cars nina krefi egbochire ba no ye bani sene be ya union mo peso motor cars no will consume the ones that are being produced in Ghana, because what you chrome Volkswagen, what you chrome so by car or Ghana, what the bag Ghana ni ento, what will you do? You go back into your sanka, yet to me promote sa anamono. In your name is for share go for be someone prima passes away bill no. And the bill suffered. We come back to the question. Now who was some? Yes, African Free Trade Intercontinental we ebema it is it remains in the Bible on the coffee table no when we read here who means Nyankopon atwo say how will you actualize it? It's by making sure that what can be actualized. For instance, Osha Obatampa and a Ghana case and a 1D1FR. It is a stepper. When Grofet started producing fertilizer, yes, so I say, because of 1D1F, yes, so I say, now, so when any more producing now, if economies of scale, or to be producing on a large scale, it means the cost of production back from. Now, he will be able to employ more people. Now, reduce our importation for fertilizer. Again, a reducing cost price of fertilizer. See, tariff I had to so 2025 budget. Jom for the same country says see a dinfo from the budget near me do for that me. That 1D1F it is a see as a grow factor to me and produce bima. Where you go and get that fertilizer? A Kumfi pineapple juice factory. It's one of the biggest stories of the 1D1F. Now you are taking away all the Kumfi juice factory no. Say see as I cannot find it 200 because of subsidies now wafano any taxes are subsidies no now take care of the taxes no inti obeto so ba 150 nipa 50 enya employment biom now anyways because the last scale it means that as I say kwa wochie ekoto juice ni bi ye kwa 10% bekan na who cause am you starter when I was in the university as part of the level 100 project work for business management we be a friendly trade fair, so it's an opportunity for these young minds to bring something up mutim who say obi di sobolo leaves no why you say tea bag, so the only thing we need is what is this was a novelty of a level 100 students, but no yet the youth start to support these minds to also what cancel your friends and you start say see as our minds when you now will go to sleep, then the 10% tax tariff no a whole in the account because so we if you want to now will remain theoretical to you. Send a million account. There were other African countries are 34%, 30%, 20%. Ghana there say okodo ode oko na union Ghana there 10% pen kan na even that what share your friends Reuters estimation say in the year 2024 no Ghana imported $1 billion from Nyama importing fee US $1 billion. Take 10% of it. Say tariff na faka ho. That is the amount ubetia. So now now kofa friends banku rubber if you abrochire na okofa no 1 cedi into ba beton 2 cedis. Se si a okoye na ton 2 cedis. Nsempa ba besa ton 2 cedi biem. On turn 2 cedi. You sell it 3 cedis and now 2 cedi 50 pesos. Se si
ya de kakra de be kono se koba se 10% be das ne antimi amfa nkwa.
So what the danger now ujetre 1 million na first okodwa so utumi fa niam be 10 na se si ayato so okodwa ma utumi fa 10 ubetumi afa wa fa be 6 sa no ko fa ba o ton you want to make profit it is say wo ba mo den
sa na kaka na fi akon so de konso na wan koton so a ana yantimi anton so a next time no so the 100 na kontin 100
so
workers 200 now they be out the 2000 goods na ko product na ko na o de koni antoni ankwa say workers na so na beti.
Yes, so we are working on a dangerous path and now who cause am 2025 budget just say one year 1D1 FFU development authorities year FFU Obatampa year FFU Ghana case year FFU one village one district one factory year FFU and the annoying part no kwan say sir Kufado novelty no bibiti say planting for food and jobs planting for exports that you're doing say even na yam planting into me to be na yes confirm sadly when you na sa support na yede mom nyina ye yefio nsaba ni kwakwa no say sa tree crop authority na support omamudua mbe ni cashew ni other things no ye yefio so nsaba what we are to expect no is one high cost of products because nipa no konfa na yato so obeto no de no so and it's fair obi foforo e de bi ko na se enkoyi a oba wa oye adwuma manu no skamba so ye den what so so there's danger ahead.
Mate me da papa ma memfa course 5 course per 5 callers na ya nko aka me time no 7 minutes na say mema memoso eko number no ofra no yentintie mu na ye ko manya me first call. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Oba de me ho ye pa na so e
ya da Allah ya mamu barka da sallah.
Barka kade.
Yo alaji gaje ne me trefe ona boya pati bo ma constituency. Yo ko pensera mo bebre. Nsema ampini for the kind na ona bo sepa nti ufisenka na ban nka ye bibia peteta ufisenka anya dia tuye no anka ye betuna ha no kasasi ni yo anya ye dio kasia dia chega na foni na kom papa ye ni tada se onu die najma ni pinso obi cho to se me ma o se kaso me ti enye ka ko boda na ni na ya dinka ni
mate me da so papa me da. Hello, good evening.
Fine.
Ajani wo yanko e
yo momo juma
ejo so
na nza ko nyeso na menchia ko fin kansa
ojo so
na haji asafi ya mehame tia Japan so tia kwa ne sabola no mentonto no wande malaria bebe yo ai kejo timi foti mo wa ka wa fo abeti jese Trump e kwa abaso de abibi fo fashion ni fashion de e ya yimu ni ko je je no mo na adiga fiti abeti ne na bere ba ne sana bere ko so pana sieza
and just one party idea, and my body, one country. Now, the oil, the other, as my bones to me soon or episode, and going a cracker. What do you say? Yeah, the motion to be a banning, you call it a cracker. But there's a royal memoir schedule. Control was it. And as I love you know why you teach me, even more President Mama Basuya, and for the enemy table, and for him, I want to Basuya. Madam Joe, I'm in Chelsea. What is what you have about to go money, the same maybe because you say, and I'm sure, and for me. And you know, I say, yes, to a man.
Meda papa yankoni yankonko din koma 0508346915 and afi 050245638748 na yenin koma. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Pacho yanko.
Vajo midinde kwe kuda ako.
Pacho yeti.
Patafu gomu ako tie.
Yeti.
Nana, diwa wo dundum like di ano odin. Ghana fopa ntina ka ko papa we Ashanti ya beti yen konso
o buye kuma nkasa
nana mi no kati sumu na medawo na mi tiedwe
kafra
da
Mr. Someda as papa po buye buje. Hello, good evening.
Evening, sir.
Yes, I seen you about to be accessible.
Master P, you just go here.
Master P, I'm quiet.
Yes, almost about 15 minutes.
I'm doing time, baby.
I'm doing somewhere 7, 8 already.
I'm quiet.
It's not say something.
Okay, young go.
I'm probably telling you, I'm doing now. I feel my son there saying this. The whole town. All I'm coming to me, MP. You know, says the you. La conscience chairman in Chieftaincy. Simple. We now say MP say can go boom. Because this for the most see now. The propaganda now numbers are the best say MP is almost sure we and it's a media or better for. Then could be also go home to be our own fancy or no fancy. You could be able to go home only a room because I'm one any of one for some of the tears. So I say, the best room, only one message. Yeah, Minister Reverend or the governor of Amra. Then you know, so you can do that. The next day, you are going to say, so, and I cannot say. Okay. We have not been trouble. You die.
Mate, Medasa Papa, Medasa. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Grandpa.
Senior Bacha family.
Oh, today.
About Nadam here also.
Make a selfie man prayer, Captain Evangelist Michael Adolatini.
Young evangelist.
Grandpa.
Senior.
When we say, and this for we contemplate for prayer with different available. Our opposition, the mama opposition. In some cases, water, in a water good MP for one member. Nana do the other no the cocaine be back Ghana. Young when this is to ban Ghana for say and I am Satan Medas. Bye bye.
Menso so Medas Papa and I'm the basic man come a guest on a quick one minute for young. Dank I'm chatting.
Example, a common de pa, and breaker, so when you was a gonna hear the na adesa, if you chino, Mame Meditratuno, and Sempa. T-bills for 2 consecutive times. T-bills has been undersubscribed. Their airport say the investors say Ghana economy no musro omunjindi into for music ambition. FA they increase the monetary policy rates no by 100 points. That is the lazy to the control of inflation, and because of that, it is a we a bank now. The cost of lending na okoji skefi central bank na ekosoro we financial institution na obeji fi commercial bank wa bekosoro we rural bank a oji fi commercial bank bekosoro we individual na okoji fi sa bank so ha ebekosoro enti in effect cost of doing business in Ghana is going to skyrocket. Ghana ebe yes na me chia me boss abrante kama pula ewonimu the MP for Okre, Honorable Daniel Nana Kwame Ado Kenneth. We share the contribution of Parliament out to me say, okrefo ya koye nim papa minchia me boss minchia okrefo nyina tie na esteem region fo nyina na minchia na bosu fo nyina Patricia na Abigail minchia mo so
just papa Rivo
zepa em ne de akanwie na the issue is confidence Ghana for timemfo e de share the NDC any John Dramani mu no wana o ma amfa ne o ma wei ambegu akwam amayendi omo ho yawo because ene me no ka say virtually all college bia wa free bia che say ne wo hihye no because the went me anko penny generator no e show de na wa penny fan keto bi esi nanim say bebo nanim enti yenya ade ne ye ne mboaye na eyiye ne ye ma ye nyina me chia Eastern region fo nyina na mesro mu say emene ko manim no nkomo bebre wo ho
okay
into the youth